Oh, hey, you're up. Oh, hey, you're up.
Pick a fine pajama or what?
Oh, hey, you're up.
You're
Oh,
gonna
hey,
die.
you're up.
Again
Pick a fine
and
pajama
again
or what?
Oh, hey,
and
you're up.
again.
Oh, hey, you're up.
Pick a fine pajama or what?
Oh, hey, you're up. Oh, hey, you're up.
Who's Bill Murray?
Oh, hey, you're up. I'm not sure if you remember my name or not. You were pretty wasted last night. I'm Bubbawheat, and you're listening to my podcast, It's Time to Rewind, where we're in the death days of autumn, covering the Happy Death Day movies one loop at a time. Today, we're discussing Tree's fourth loop in Happy Death Day 2U that starts at 46 minutes and 41 seconds, with Tree gasping and downing a water bottle, and ends at 47 minutes and 47 seconds, with Tree giving the camera a double middle finger while wearing a bikini to land in front of Carter and Danielle after skydiving without a parachute. And joining me once again today is my guest, Brandy, aka the Terrorific Lady. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and it's great to be back.
Yeah, it's I think I feel like this is the trailer moment of this movie, and I kind of getting jumping to the end of a bit. I did read that this wasn't in the original like test screening of the movie. They did go back and shoot this later.
Oh, wow. I did not know that because it seems like it fits perfectly with the whole vibe of Happy Death Day. So I'm surprised it wasn't in the original script.
Yeah, yeah, it really feels like it hits the right. I mean, not necessarily the right tone question mark, because as much as I like it, and as much as it did, I do think that this scene gave me the biggest laugh the first time I was watching it, and it still gets me to laugh every time I'm watching it, but at the same time, I'm not sure it's 100% the right tone for this movie. I feel like it almost goes a little bit too far in the cartoonish territory.
Hmm. Is it mainly because of just like the very last part, which I know that we'll get to, of her just like the skydiving thing and flipping off the camera?
Yeah, there just I mean, it's hard for me to like wrap my head around my feelings on this scene, and again, this is the end of this loop. I mean, it's only a minute loop, so I think it's okay to start with this, but it's because I love it, but I'm also not. I don't think it fits. It's like I take a step back, and it's like, is this really necessary? But at the same time, it's I would almost say it's like my favorite moment in this movie, but it's like, how can it be my favorite movie, favorite moment if I don't think it fits in the movie?
Hmm. Usually, whenever I have those kinds of feels, like this is absolutely one of my favorite moments in the movie is this scene. But it's usually whenever I have questions just about, well, does this actually fit? It usually means that the movie has established more of just, I guess, just this underlying tone to it. And this Happy Death Day to You is a little bit more, it has a little bit more of a heartfelt tone, strangely enough. Has a little bit more of a heartfelt tone to it, like underneath it all. So I guess if we're looking at it from that way, then a very just kind of almost Wile E. Coyote kind of moment, like in the montage, would seem a
And
little
even like a
off.
meta moment too, because
Right.
she's not giving the double middle fingers to Carter and Danielle. She's giving the double middle fingers to the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like in the all the times I've watched this scene. It just now clicked, yeah, because you would expect her to be just facing Carter and Danielle going, screw you, or like flipping them off. But no, it's just like at us, like, what did we do? Like what did we do to you?
Yeah, it's like, and again, I typically love like meta moments and fourth wall breaks. I love Ferris Bueller. I love the lesser known Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I love movies and TV shows that have these fourth wall break moments. I think that they're a lot of fun and like the metatextual uh, moments of just making you realize that you're watching a movie. I typically love those and I do love it, but I also think that it's weird because that's the only moment in these movies where we get something like that.
Yeah, and in the movies that you mentioned, especially Ferris Bueller's Day Off is what I'll go to since the one I've seen the most. That tone is established from just like the very beginning. It's just like he's bringing the audience in and just like taking them with him, like when he goes about his day. So whenever he's speaking to the camera, there's not really a whole lot of surprise. If this was the only like meta moment, then yeah, I could see probably where that might feel a little bit off.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and kind of jump back to the beginning of this loop, and
Yes.
we get another moment of physical comedy here, and again, I think Jessica Ross nails it just with her, uh, just coughing, getting the bad taste of the drain cleaner from the last loop, and just downing the bottle of water, and again capping it off with just like the awkward kinda half smile that we get between Tree and Carter. I just I love that moment between the 2 of them.
Yeah, because you're for her, it's like the X amount of time that she has died and woken up, and for him, it's always like the first time. So just imagining, like for him, being the first time he sees her waking up, she's just like guzzling this bottle of water like there's no tomorrow. He's just like, okay, you're scaring me. That's why his awkward smile just like red like all over. I love that.
Yeah. And then kind of again, I won't go into it too much because I did talk about it a bit last week, but again with this montage, we're kind of jumping back and forth because I get I can tell that they it's kind of a factor of or it's because of how they shot it, that they were, doing these various scenes with her wearing the different outfits, and then they end up intermixing the shots between the different scenes of the montage, even though it's supposed to be like a single day. But kind of back into this one, we do get a quick shot of her writing in the notebook with the gray sweater that we'll see her wearing in a future loop. And then we kind of cut back to her wearing the floral print sitting next to Ryan, like we've seen her sitting next to Ryan before. And then we do get this important scene with Tree wearing the FML sweatshirt and seeing this argument between Lori and Dr. Gregory.
Oh, Dr. Gregory. That's like, whenever I saw that he was also a character in this movie, I was like, the plot thickens. So it's almost like I love how she was kind of spying like on them, almost like it was a very big soap opera kind of
Mhm.
moment. It's like all you needed now is just like the soap opera music to go in the background. But yeah, I appreciated that little detail of her just being like, okay, well, I know him and he's a jerk. And Lori was also just like a jerk, but here she's kind of nice. She's just like, what's going on here between these two? It's like,
Yeah, and this, moment in the montage, it only lasts like 8 seconds,
yeah, it's
but
very
it
brief.
but it does a lot of heavy lifting because if you're watching this trying to figure out the mystery of it, this goes a long way. And, I think it's a first time viewer can figure out just from this 8 seconds that Lori is the one having the affair with Gregory, because we did have just the brief kind of mention, like we know that Gregory is having an affair because we saw the arguments between him and his wife. And that's I heard her say something about she's in a sorority. And whenever we first saw that, we assumed that she was talking about Tree, but then whenever Tree first talks to Gregory, he doesn't even know her because she's not even in his class. And so that kind of drops that aspect of the thread. And then we get this 8 seconds, and this kind of helps put the clues together that, oh, in this universe, Gregory is sleeping with Lori because that's what Lori in the parallel universe wanted was, she wanted to be in the affair with Gregory. And in this one, it seems like she's trying to get out of the affair.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do appreciate just like the little moments before that where it was dropping like all these kinds of breadcrumbs because it helps for like maybe someone who's just coming into this movie, like say this was the first movie that they saw and they didn't even see Happy Death Day. They would get enough information to not feel like they're lost, but still go back and watch the first movie if they want to.
Mhm. Yeah, and we did get, that big recap too, which
Yeah,
which
it's
helped.
just like previously on Happy Death Day.
And then we cut to, we get another, brief scene with her, having lunch with both her parents, and again, this kind of helps reinforce this, this is the reason why Tree wants to stay in this parallel universe instead of going back to her universe, because this is kind of reminding the audience that she's giving up Carter for her mother.
And I think it's a very important reminder because for anyone in her shoes, it's very understandable. Like, if you don't have your mom in your universe and then you have your mom in this one, like, of course you would want to stay, just like other life be darned.
And then let me ask you, we see kind of her mom with her, like, it's almost like a game of charades. Like, what do you think that this conversation is about?
Oh man, that's a tough one because uh, I'm not really good at lip reading. I'm not really good at lip reading, so it's like I really would have no idea what they were saying because even future conversations that she had with both her parents were always just kind of really emotional or weird or strange. So I don't know exactly what the conversation like or what it could be about, but she was listening very, very intently to what both her mom and her dad was saying. So probably just new details like about like maybe their relationship or about herself but not herself that she didn't know before. It's just like it's very like multiverse stuff is just like really strange because it's very hard to keep track of times. I realize, okay, it's Tree, but it's not Tree, and it's her mom, but it's not really her mom. So it's just like say you have to. It's very hard to stay on track sometimes, but yeah. But going back to that, I just see it as her just like learning just new details. I mean, very simple kind of thing. It's like you would want to know more just about like your relationship that you had like with this version of your mom and how things were.
Yeah, and I think my first viewing of it, and my again, kind of my first couple viewings of it while taking notes for this podcast for this episode, I almost thought, the way she holds her two hands up, it's I thought it was almost like she was telling a fishing story about her fishing, but then watching it again, she kind of because it almost looks like she's holding her hands up like she's casting a fishing rod, but then she does it twice, so maybe it's like she's hitting something, like with a book or something. Again, I
Kill
mean, it's yeah,
the
it's not super important, but, again, whenever, just the format of this show, it's kind of, lends itself to overanalyzing these moments.
yeah, but all in good fun. I mean, like with these moments, just like you may end up picking something up that you didn't notice the first time around. No.
Mm. Yeah, and then we go back to Jealous Tree, and again, that like I was kind of mentioning last week, I feel like these different shots were, shots at the same time because Tree is wearing that same white shirt with what I think are the cherries, and she's sipping the blue icy. So I get the feeling that this was shot the exact same time as, her looking at Tree and Carter in the last loop, even though it's supposed to, in theory, it's supposed to take place in 2 different days.
Mm.
I feel like that this was, literally just like on camera, it happens right after that moment. But this time, it kind of continues on and we see her noticing this like a leaf skydiving ad on the building.
Oh, geez, skydiving. Like, what a way to go, just free falling without your parachute. It's like that's terrifying. Like, I don't know why she chose that.
And not only that, but it's going full on bikini for
Yeah, that was a choice. That was definitely like a choice.
and also like what do you think this instructor guy is thinking? Because it's like he's uh helping the first 3 people out and then he's just kind of staring at Tree, just kind of dumbfounded. He like makes no move to stop her at all. He's just kind of standing there completely blankly. And then she does she turns around so she's facing camera with her back to the open air, and then she does like the T pose and falls backwards.
It's I have no idea what that poor skydiving instructor was thinking, other than the fact, like, am I seeing this? Is there a girl like actually on this plane just in a bikini and with no parachute on? Like, what the heck? So I think it was just like a mind freeze because minus the mind freeze, I think he would have tried to help her, but everything just happened all so fast that he just probably didn't even have time to process it before he realized, wait, this girl just jumped out of a freaking plane in a bikini. Like, what the heck? But then you have to wonder, I think with skydiving stuff, there's like pre-checks for people before they even get on the plane. So it's just like, how did she skate past? How did she skate past the pre-checks?
My guess is that whenever she went there, she got, she was wearing the bikini underneath everything, and she did all the pre-checks, she got suited up, and then in the plane she took it all off.
Oh, okay. Because if she had just like, she just like showed up like in the bikini, they would be like, whoa, 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 no, we're not letting you on this plane.
And then we do get I feel like I think it makes sense if this was shot later because especially like, looking at it um in isolation of like like I'm doing for for the purposes of this podcast. But I do think that the superimposing of her falling in front of camera feels a lot cheaper than most of the rest of the special effects in this movie. It's it's almost like you can kinda see the matte lines, like, you can it doesn't look she doesn't look fully integrated into the scene.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's almost like a green screen kind of
Mhm.
effect. It just like looks too digitally, I guess, clean
Yeah.
around the outline of her, and it's just yeah, it's very noticeable. And if you weren't looking very, very closely at it, then you would just be like, "Oh, haha, look at this funny scene." But I'm super, super, super detail oriented, and I just noticed that from the get go. It's like, oh, this is funny, but geez, just like it looks like yeah. That little detail kind of took me out of that immersion a little bit.
Yeah. But then it's kind of, saved by Danielle and Carter's reaction. Well, Carter especially, 'cause I feel 'cause again, it's going back to the cartoonish nature of this montage. I feel like Carter is behaving the way the a classic Looney Tunes cartoon when or like an 80s or 90s sitcom character whenever they see a mouse. I feel like that's how he is acting, the way he jumps up on the bench and just, completely freaking out.
Yeah, now I don't remember if they just if that's all they did, like they jump up on the bench freaking out, or if they ran off too. I don't remember.
Well, let's see. Danielle just stands up and she's like screaming with her hands beside her head. And then Carter jumps up on the bench and he like gets ready to run off. And then he's like kind of running off to screen right. Uh, and that's where the loop cuts off.
Okay, okay. Kind of in a way, just a little callback to like the guy who ran away in the
Yeah.
grocery store. So just got
Mm.
she's making everybody run away from her, like for good reason.
And then that's the end of another loop in this montage. Do you have anything else that you want to say about this loop?
Just don't go skydiving in a bikini.
All right. Well, thank you once again for joining me this week, and for 2 more weeks. And why don't you once again tell people where you can be found online?
You can find me online on Instagram and Threads at Terrific Lady, and on YouTube you can find me at The Terrific Lady, or search Retro Horror School, and it will bring you to the same place.
All right. And as always, you can find me on social media everywhere where I'm at Bubbawheat. I am most active on Threads these days. That's the best place to follow me if you want to see what I'm watching and doing lately. But if you want to send me a message on any other social media that you find me, I will most likely respond as long as you're saying something nice. We also have a Facebook group. It's Time to Rewind, a time loop group, and you can join that to comment on episodes as they come out and have any sort of discussions about time loops. And, if you're listening to us on a podcatcher, I'd really appreciate it if you give us a rating and a review. I'd love 5 stars. Let me know that you're listening and to, help increase our presence on the search algorithm so more people can find this show. So until next time.